Greetings. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the acronym, the class MSOON, that stands for Making Something Out of Nothing. My name is Kimberlie Wright, and welcome and thanks for joining. Today is February the 8th. It's Tuesday, and I'm going to go through our holidays and events before we get started with our second day or part 2 of our paper mache project. So we're going to have a part 2 because we have to put another layer of paper on the balloon to make it stiffer and sturdier. And the first, having one layer, even though I put 2, it's not thick enough. It needs to be thicker because it's too thin. Once it really dries and gets hard, it cracks. So it'll be easy to puncture. So you want it to be a little bit stiffer than that. All right, first we're going to go through these holidays. If you hear anything that strikes your attention for later research, further research, or possible DIYs, project ideas, feel free to jot them down. Today is Extraterrestrial Culture Day, Laugh and Get Rich Day, National Boy Scout Day. Today is National Kite Flying Day, Propose Day, and Safer Internet Day. Okay, looks real good. So also, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the mixture. Have my apron on. I'm going to go ahead and get some plastic to protect the table. It's freezing in there. So this paper mache can get a little messy. So you want to have something, old tablecloth, disposable tablecloth or something. Large plastic bag. We're going to go ahead and make another mix. It's better to use cold water. And as you can see, this large bowl in my hand, I have this amount of water. Trying to see if it's leaking anywhere. And so I'm gonna add the mixture to the water rather than the water to the mixture, because that, and also you want to use cold water to help it keep from clumping. So I already have like a little container inside my wheat paste, which is, you can basically use flour and water and glue. So I'm just gonna grab something to stir it with. Getting some plasticware. So if you just came in class, what I'm doing is going through another part 2 of the paper mache, because I was just saying that you need to do more than one layer so that your paper mache won't be too thin. Right now I have all of this water in this bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and mix some more. Let me bring this camera closer. Gonna go ahead and mix some more paper mache or the wheat paste with the water. And I know that the water is pretty much about the amount of mixture I'm making. It's about half a bowl. And that's a lot because really I need a lot today because I'm working on several projects at one time. So I'm just gonna kind of drizzle that around the water. And I know I want to do about 4 containers of this. That was one. And on the second one, I'm going to go ahead and start to stir so that it doesn't clump. Or I can keep from having it clump too much. So just start stirring. And then we're going to go ahead and, you know, that's really liquidy. So we're going to go ahead and add some more, 2 more containers full, and see how that looks. And now, since that was my third one, instead of doing 2, I'm going to go ahead and stir. All right, and you know that sounds really watery. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix another container. I wanted 4 in all. Spreading it out. And right now I'm gonna add some glue to give my mixture some stiffness where it'll help the, once it dries, it'll be harder. This is just Elmer's glue. I'm just gonna kind of pour it, but have it move around, so to speak. And I think that's a good amount. And I'm gonna stir that together just to see what happens. See if I have a good mixture from there. So that looks really thick. It's thickening up. Just gonna stir it and scrape the sides down to make sure that the wheat paste or the flour and water is all getting mixed up. Sometimes you have dry parts that are immersed fully into the liquid, but it's still not getting mixed up or saturated. So I kind of like this consistency, although I think I want to add 1 more container of the wheat paste. Just a little bit more thickness, but I do like the liquid. And this is going to be it. So that was 5 1/2 of this bowl. All right, I'm going to go ahead and mix that, and then I'm going to get started with my second coat layer of paper mache. So also last week we spoke about if you all needed some ideas of some things you could possibly make. There's you can make pretty much anything out of paper mache. But what I'm going to make is one project I'm going to make is the hot air balloon out of one, and I'm going to make I thought I'd make a lantern, like a lampshade or a lamp, but it's going to be actually a body figure. I don't know if I'm going to make it like an African woman dancing, but it's going to be a light. All right, so I love this consistency. And so sometimes at this point, if you have some kind of blender that you could use, that you dedicated to your artwork, that you're not gonna cook out of or use for cooking purposes anymore, a blender would be good, but I don't think it even needs a blender. However, if you see any really large chunks, which I am taking and smashing on the side of the bowl, you'll see that once you smash those chunks, you'll still see the flour or powder mixture immersing and still getting mixed up. So that's the rest of it pretty much get mixed by hand as I am working with it. And since I'm right-handed, I kind of like to sit it on the right side.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else do you use that wheat paste for?
You said, what else do you use wheat paste for?
Uh-huh.
Did I get that question right? What else do you use wheat paste for?
What else do you use with it? I mean, what else do you do with it?
Okay. Well, I'm
That's got,
not really sure, but generally it's used just to make paper mache.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just a wheat paste and it's ready to be used for paper mache projects. That's basically what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, as an artist, if you want to be creative and maybe, you know, that's how people are inventive. They do different stuff with things. Maybe, I don't know, I might become creative and come up with something else to do it with wheat paste. I'm not really sure. So give me 1 second, young people. I'll be right with you, young people. That's a good question.
Kim,
Yes.
this is Jean. You can also tell Catherine that when I bought mine, but I used it up. We shared. 2 of us went together and bought a big box. So that way, you know, both of us could use it, and we didn't have a lot of it just sitting around. We shared it, Catherine. 2 of us went together and bought it. Pam and I bought ours together.
No, what her question was what other things can you make with wheat paste?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking about not having so much.
Okay, so so not only that, anytime I ask you all to purchase anything, which this is a recycle arts class, that's why hold on, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. If I ask you all to purchase something, then I usually give you the equivalent of something that you can mix to make it at home where you don't have to purchase anything, especially being that this is a recycle class. So instead of even purchasing a whole box of wheat paste, that's why I said you can use flour, water, and glue. However, I don't know if your question was due to the fact of it's such a large amount, but one time we bought the plaster of Paris, the cement, and we're going to still use that for several projects in the future. However, to answer your other question, so if you concerned about what you can make, we'll be making other projects, but wheat paste is an adhesive made from wheat flour and water. It's used for projects like decoupage. So you know decoupage is when you put pictures on top of things to decorate it. It's used for paper mache. It's used for collages and other wheat paste art. It's about as strong as diluted white glue. When stored dry in its powder form, wheat paste has a very long shelf life. Once mixed, wheat paste made with real wheat and no preservative spoils if not used immediately. Make sure to mix only what you need. Find gluten-free alternatives like rice paste powder for those with gluten allergies. All right. So basically, there are any projects that you can do that. So I guess the question, the answer is really unlimited. As an artist, that's why some people are just creative and try to be innovative and come up with new stuff. So, all right, we're gonna get straight into this, and I'll show you what I had from last week. So this has been sitting in. I just want to continue to mix up those clumps. And as I'm stirring, I'm smashing against the wall of the bowl. I already mixed up, I already cut some pieces of paper. And I said to you, sometimes I like to use long sheets of paper, but shorter pieces of paper are easier to work with. And so first thing I want to do is I'm gonna get this particular dish right here and some gloves. it's easier for me to work in gloves because the project is really a dirty job. All right, and so also I just want to show you while it's drying over here. This is the balloon that I actually did last week, and I actually added some doily papers over it. As you can see, so this is the side that I probably, I'm sure I started putting the paper mache on, and it was sitting in the bowl like this. So if you're doing this at home, over time, when a portion dries, you need to flip it over because all of the liquid is gonna run to one side and still make a part heavy. So that's what happened to this side. This is the side where all the liquid ran, and you can see the impression of the bowl on the balloon where it kind of deflated. But however, I wouldn't throw this away because this still can be used. I did cover this with newspaper last week, and then I covered it with doilies, paper doilies yesterday. So we're gonna come back to that piece. This is another piece that I started yesterday. Mr. Jamal helped me out. This balloon, you can see it's completely rounded. And it's still wet on this side because this is where I flipped it. This is the dry side, and I'm gonna add a layer of paper to this today. So I just have it sitting in front of a slow running heater so that it can dry. I don't have it too close because I don't want it to burst. Now this is another balloon that I actually blowed up, and I covered it entirely with paper doilies. And so this is the piece that I'm going to make the African dancer lamp or lantern out of, and I didn't want to use all the different color newspapers. I just wanted to use white. And
Kim, I have a question.
yes.
Hi, good morning, first of all. Good morning, everyone.
Michelle.
How are you going to make an African dancer out of that balloon?
So I'm just about to explain.
Okay.
No problem. Thanks. So this is a small balloon. You can see. So you blow the balloons up for the size that you need, and you can work on the shapes later. But however, I know that I needed a small balloon, and this is going to be the head.
Okay.
The head of the actual dancer. And so let me grab my balloon again so I can kind of explain. So I'm gonna cut off on this area here, just the bottom where it can sit flat. This is gonna be her skirt. And this is going up into her waistline and her body. And so, give me 1 second, sorry. And of course, this is her head here, which is going to be probably, hold on. I'm trying not to touch this balloon. It's like wet in some areas. However, her head will probably be up here somewhere. So let me get the rest of the stuff. So right now, that's what I was about to say to you all. These two balloons I have, which are long balloons, I'm going to create her arms.
No, it's going to be pretty big then.
Well, the arms, once you, like I can make this out of two arms. Sorry. Once I actually cover this with the paper mache and it dries and everything, you can cut the forms to the size that you need. You can cut them in half, whatever, just like I'm gonna cut that in a half bowl shape. And so let's just talk about this really quick. This is just an example. If I wanted to, this we was going to talk about last week, because if some people had any couldn't get their ideas together as far as what they wanted to make. Of course, you know, turning this upside down and attaching a box or something to it will make it an air balloon, a hot air balloon. However, if I wanted to make this, let's say a panda bear, this would be the head of the panda, but I need another layer of newspaper on this. So what I would do is get cardboard and cut out ears, attach them here with tape, paper mache over the cardboard as well. Anything that I want to make protruding, like a nozzle, a tongue, or ears, that type of thing, you can use cardboard and attach it and cover it with paper mache. If I was making a Minnie Mouse, you know, or a lion, you know, all these things you make with cardboard, tape them down, cover it with paper mache, and once it dries really well, you start your paint job. And a lot of things could be painted on as well, like eyes, mouths. So you might want to check online to see, let's just give me 1 second. Let me sit this down. And then, you know, we don't have to spend a lot of time in class just doing the paper mache, because it's not like we in the classroom together doing it. So I don't know how many people are actually working on paper mache right now, but I know that I'll get to do a little bit in class, but I'll just go ahead and get the most important stuff covered. Give me 1 second. All right. So I have this beautiful paper mache clown. I should have brought it so I could show it to you all, but I'll bring it before we finish with the paper mache. All right. All right, so I'm gonna screen share with you all just for a second. Share screen here. Share. Something happened, sorry. Oh, goodness. Okay, I got it again. Thanks for being patient, everybody. All right, so if you all can see this screen, let me just move this. All right, let's check this toucan out. That looks really good. So this toucan, you can tell that that could be a balloon there. The body. This could be a long balloon here, adding attachments. But it's a really good toucan, especially being that it's sitting on those little bird legs. I wanted to show you all a piece when they actually putting it together so you could see the attachments. If you all see something while I'm scrolling here that you want me to go back on, let me know. I'm just checking something really quick. Let's see something.
Yeah, the late that you were scrolling and there was a lady holding a piece in her hand. She's a paper mache artist. Have you ever seen any of her videos?
Was it the lady that you sent me the link for?
I don't know. I may have. She when you're scrolling down here, she has on like a green blouse. I think she's a little further down. There she is, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, her videos are really good. She does beautiful work, beautiful paper mache work.
Okay, I gotta check them out.
Look at that lion
Video. I'm going to show you how
I
I
can,
make
it's okay, Miss Michelle, you can still talk.
an animal sculpture.
Yeah, she does beautiful.
They look real lifelike.
Yeah, she does beautiful work, Kim.
It doesn't do the sculpting for you, not like these guys. This kind of pattern is one where I did the sculpture. I create a pattern
Wow.
that you just cut out, tape together, and it creates all those shapes for you. I'm talking about the
That's
kind
what
of
I was saying.
sculpture where
Cut
you
out
start
stuff
from
and tape
scratch.
it
You have
together.
an idea for an animal, whether it's a tiger, aardvark, dragon.
She said
Look
art.
at that lion. I like
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
She
that's-
does beautiful, beautiful work.
That's
You
so
wanna
nice.
Be able to go ahead and do it the easy way and create something that you really like. Now, the reason that I really like doing this is because it sets the outline, the actual silhouette of the sculpture is set before you ever start. And all of the proportions are going to be right. You don't have to worry about how long the legs are supposed to be, how big the head is going to be, because you can see it on a piece of paper before you ever start. Is that right? If it is, then you're good to go, and your sculpture is going to at least have that basic shape that you created with the pattern and the armature. Now, if you've read my book on how to make animal sculptures with paper mache clay, or if you're subscribed to my blog or my YouTube channel, you're probably already familiar with this process, and you might have already even made an animal sculpture using it. And if you have, I really hope that you're a werewolf or whatever. This system works no matter what kind of animal or bird or lizard that you want to make. Works for fish too. I'm going to show you how I used a photograph to make the kangaroo pattern, but you can also use a drawing, which is something you'll have to do if you're going to make something like a dragon that doesn't exist. You can also use this system, like if one of your kids drew something that's really cool and you want to turn it into a three-dimensional sculpture, that'd make a fantastic gift for grandma. It would just be really fun to do. Whatever drawing or photograph that you use, you will know in advance that your finished sculpture is going to have that basic outline shapes. Now, I am going to be using a computer program to show you, just because it's easier to see on screen. And we got
Sorry,
one
guys.
square here where the shapes are that
She had aluminum foil on there.
Yes,
Yeah.
to make it protrude where it needs to come out.
Mattress. Shop online today. Before you go to bed tonight, eat 1/2 teaspoon of this before 10 p.m. and electrify your metabolism by over 728.
body to put those legs in order to make it really work. And to do that, we need to go back out and do another image search of a kangaroo so that we can get the rough their part.
Oh, she gluing it on now.
Yeah, you gotta glue it so it can stay.
Flatten it up so that I have something for my glue to stick to.
So Kim, she's one, and there's another paper mache cardboard artist. Their work is just amazing.
It's another
can't-
lady.
No, it's a gentleman. I can't.
Okay.
When I find him, I'll send you the link to him.
Okay,
It
thanks.
hasn't got very much strength right
So what she gonna do is that and put
but it's
paper around all that.
pieces
Yes,
where
ma'am.
where they belong, hopefully, and it gives me just a little bit of leeway so that I can change entirely. This area is going to be completely hidden because it's behind the leg. And of course, my book on how to make animal sculptures with paper mache clay is based entirely on the whole process of me at ultimatepapermache.com. I'll see you there.
Oh, she ain't gonna show it.
You got to watch the whole video to see
Yeah,
it.
you have to continue to watch the whole video.
Oh, it's another part of the video. Oh, okay.
You can go. She's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube,
And I decided
you
Uh-huh.
can find her.
and I put out a new video about my original paper mache clay recipe. This is the same recipe that I use for all the projects in my book, Make Animal Sculptures with Paper Mache Clay. The recipe itself went online on YouTube for the very first time 10 years ago, I think. And it's a lot of people have used it all over the world now. A lot of other YouTubers have come up with variations, and I've come up with a few variations too. Someone recently asked me which of those variations is my favorite, and it's still this one. The very original recipe that I came up with 10 years ago. It dries really hard. You can put on a really thin, almost paper thin layer like I did for the elephant and the lion back here, and it's really, really strong. It replaces the traditional paper strips and paste. Now, of course, over the years, I've answered a whole lot of questions from people who have used the paper mache clay or who are thinking about it but aren't quite sure what is this stuff or why doesn't that work. I'm going to try to answer all of those questions in this video. So now let's go ahead and make some paper mache clay. It's really easy. To make your paper mache clay, you're going to need a couple of large bowls.
See, she has a blender, Kim.
Some
Yeah.
cups to measure with, and an electric mixer. The materials that go into paper mache clay are Elmer's glue all or Elmer's clear. This is a PVA glue, so if you live in another country, that's what you ask for. It's just a white glue or PVA glue. You'll need some drywall joint compound from the hardware store or Walmart. That's where I get mine. If you're not sure what drywall joint compound is, I'll tell you that in just a minute. You'll need some white flour and you'll need some toilet paper. Now, the original recipe does call for 2 tablespoons of either mineral oil or linseed oil. And I didn't happen to have any today, so I just left it out. It really doesn't hurt anything, so don't go out and buy some special if you don't have any on hand. Now, the first thing we need to do is get our paper ready. I use toilet paper exclusively, in part because I'm really lazy. Just as soon as it gets wet, and that's what we really want for a nice smooth clay. What some people have done is soak newspapers for a much longer time. They soak it in hot water for maybe an hour or 2, and then they put the wet newspaper and the water into a blender. Make sure that there's water in there so you don't burn up the motor, and they just blend it up, and that will break apart the fibers of recycled paper. So that does work. I don't happen to do it because, like I said, I'm lazy. Toilet paper works really, really easy, but we do want to measure it. We want about a 1.25 cups of wet paper. So I stick the paper in water, get it wet, press it down into a measuring cup until I get about 1.25 cups of it. And then I go ahead and put it back in the hot water. I want all those fibers to be separated. Just swirl it around with your fingers and make that happen. Now, we don't want totally wet paper in our paper mache clay, so we do need to get some of the water out. In fact, we want most of the water out, but you have to be really careful that you don't press out too much. That can be a real problem. If you press
All right,
out
young
so
people.
much of
So
the
if you
water
want to check
that
this,
it's almost dry, it won't fall apart.
if you want to
when
check
you run
this
your
video
mixer, you end up with
later,
big
let's see what the
globs
name of it
of
is.
lumps
Paper
in
mache
your
clay
paper mache
recipe.
clay.
There. Let's see
So
what
go
her
ahead and
name was
test
when
it in
I
your hand.
looked at the last
Hi, I'm
video.
Johnny from ultimatepapiermache.com.
So
And
if
in
you
this
want to
video,
check
I'm
this
going
out
to show
later,
you
you
how
need
I
to
make
write
an
down
armature
paper
for
mache
an
animals,
animal
easy
sculpture
armature
using a
patterns,
pattern that goes on the
extended
inside of the sculpture and
tutorial.
creates all of the outlines for
I
you.
don't see
It does
anything else.
Mm-mm.
And her name is Jean or Jane or
Jean.
something like
It's
that.
Jean. It's Jean.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
see what she used, that tissue, the toilet tissue?
Toilet
Yes.
tissue, yes. But it's just another form of paper. She probably just sort of like, that's like I was saying, being innovative. You know, she probably just did that because it's something kind of inexpensive. It's in your home, you know.
Yeah. And
It's
she said
ready
she was
developed.
lazy.
Say it again, Miss Bouchelle.
She said she was lazy. That's why she used it.
Yeah, she did say, she said that several times. She said, like me, I'm lazy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I have these doilies, and that's, again, the reason why I'm using these is because I'm hoping for the light to shine through the balloon portion of the dancer. However, it's not going to shine through the arms or anything, but I'm just going to keep my same aesthetic of using the same material, so I can still see if I can get her dress to look lacy. Yeah. So I'm just gonna lightly cover that. I was thinking about cutting those in half, and it might have been easier to handle. However, I don't see a problem with handling that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and, as you can see, I've covered this once. I'm gonna cover it on the ends, and I'm gonna cover the second portion as the paper mache drips on the plastic. I'm using that as well. And so I'm just making sure to let it drip off, taking one side and applying it, letting that wrap over before I wrap the other side. Smooth.
So Kim, I have a suggestion on how I dry when I do paper mache balloons, how I dry them.
Okay.
Because I live in a small apartment and I have limited space.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
see the very top of the balloon where you blow into it?
Yes.
Yes, right there. What I do when I do a paper mache, I take some kind of string and I tie around that part of the balloon.
And hang
And
it.
of course, and hang it. You can hang it from like right where you are. You
Oh,
see
that's-
the handles for the cabinet. I would just have them hanging off of there. Or I have them hanging off the side of a table. And of course I have some plastic at the bottom to catch the drips because I don't have a lot of space to hang stuff. So I use that part of the balloon.
That's a great suggestion because it keeps you from having the imprint of whatever it's sitting on, or it won't get stuck. And actually the mixture will drip one way, and
yeah,
probably it'll dry better. That's a good suggestion. I'm definitely gonna do that today.
Yeah.
So sometimes projects could be fun from beginning to end. It depends on I don't know, I guess how focused you are, your attention span per se, or how much you're enjoying something. But I was gonna say this isn't the most fun part for me building it. It takes time, like you're saying. I'm not saying I'm lazy, but I could get a little bit lazy doing something like this myself. But I really do love the actual design part when it's time to paint and all of that. Like if I had somebody to build these things for me, I would definitely get them. But if you don't do the hard parts of the actual work, how you gonna ever get it done?
It's true.
Yeah, especially when you like see so many beautiful things, you're like, oh my God, I want one of them, or I want to make it. Some people don't realize how much time it takes to put into actual
art.
Yeah, and then some people insult you when it's time for them to purchase it or whatever, thinking that it's some little simple thing until they had to make it themselves.
And you know what, Kim?
Yes, ma'am.
It does teach you patience, because I'm a real fidgety, and we're trying to get rid of that as I get older. But you got to be patient. You got to be calm, and not try to rush through it, because I've done that and messed up.
And sometimes when you rush through stuff, you see that it looks rushed or something.
Right.
Yeah, but actually, as it pertains to patience, I always tell people, if you don't feel relaxed or feel good doing it, like maybe take a break or put it away and do it another time.
Right.
Really, art really supposed to relax you. Sometimes these doilies are so thin, unless I actually took my time to take them loose in the beginning, you can barely get them loose then. But it's okay to use maybe one or two put together too, as long as the mixture gets saturated in there. And you can actually get it to get soft and mold around it. Should be fine. So I think I'm gonna stop. Yes.
And you said that's going to be her arms, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the other balloon is going to be arms also.
So I just made 2 balloons in case something doesn't
Okay.
right or work right, or I need to use 2 of the skinny parts on both of the balloons. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Kind of
sense.
think ahead of time in case, something doesn't look right or in proportion or something. All right, so that one looks good, and I'm gonna go put one more layer on one, and then I'm gonna start with my newspaper. And I had said to anybody, if you needed to get some of this wheat paste from me, you're more than welcome, but you have to come to the facility.
Yes. Tell them I said hello.
Sorry, Miss G, the microphone is sometimes on.
So we met.
I'm about to mute it.
Oh.
I just, y'all know I gotta take off the glove. All right. And so once I've taken the gloves off, I just go ahead and get a whole nother. Put them on without it getting messy. I got it. Thanks, sorry. So now I also want to cover this one because I'm thinking that this could be, if I cut it in half, a portion of her body, even though I'm gonna have to put some cardboard on it. And I like that lady, Miss Jean's idea about the foil in the inside to get volume and stuff and depth. So
Yeah, it gives it a three-dimensional look.
Yep, the 3-dimensional look,
What
the foil.
for?
Yeah, so it's like it's just like your body, Miss Catherine, being from the side, your leg is here, your body is just like having joints and parts and making it look like it's real rather than everything pushed together flat.
Being flat, right?
Yeah. Thanks so much, Miss Boucher, because Miss Jean and different people, sometimes when I'm teaching and when you're talking, sometimes you barely get certain words out. I like when y'all help me out with.
You know, I'm thinking like you because I want to do a sculpture of a woman. So when you say I'm doing a lady, I was like, wow, Kim is in my head again.
But I would love to see you create something because it doesn't matter if everybody in this class did a woman, they're gonna be different. But I would love to see what your vision was, what you might have been planning on doing.
Right. Mine is, yeah, and that's what I was working on. I have some drawings, trying to draw it out first before I start on it, and using actually doing the paper mache on a beach ball.
Okay. Oh,
That's
nice.
how big I want it to be. And the beach ball is going to be a body. So paper mache the beach ball. And when it's dry, all you do is deflate the ball. And I'm going to use the ball again for something else and use that part as her body.
That's a great idea. And I just got an idea that, everybody, I don't know about everybody, but I think a lot of people are fascinated or were fascinated as children or growing up as far as having a globe.
Yeah.
Globe
Yeah.
takes you places without even having to go somewhere just looking at it. And everybody hasn't always had a globe in their house, but using the beach ball, you could make a really nice paper mache globe and make a stand somehow. And yeah, that'd be a good project too. But that's a good idea to use the beach ball so it won't deflate.
Right.
So sometimes once it gets sort of wet, the air starts to come out.
Right. Now I did get a globe from an inflatable globe from the Dollar Tree.
Oh yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so the lady who just watched, the thing that she used for her base, she just don't remove them. Like you do the
Right, it's permanent.
it's permanent.
Talking about all that, the cardboard and the foil.
Right.
Yeah, that's permanent. It'd be right inside her. Like all the beautiful animals you saw, they right inside of there. So it's just paper and foil. It's all enclosed anyway. It's not going to be anything that spoils or that she has to reopen and reuse. So that's those some good recycled. Yeah, that stuff is in the inside. It's basically her armature or her frame or her mold.
So if I say if I want to use the base, use the oatmeal box.
Yes.
Do I leave it in there or do I cut it out?
You leave it in there.
Oh, you leave it in there.
Yes,
right, you couldn't cut it out. Yeah, once that stuff dries, you can't cut that out.
But
I just don't wonder about that. Okay,
cut it out, but you'll be cutting up your project. Cutting up all that hard work you just did.
That's right.
So that's why I was saying the oatmeal box is a really good idea if that's what the shape that you want to use, because the oatmeal box is disposable. It's just paper itself.
Right.
You can use cereal box. That's what I was saying. You can attach cardboard to your pieces to make the proper shape that you're looking for. And just as we saw that lady use cardboard and she used, once again, the foil to give it a 3-dimensional look, as Ms. Michelle said.
Miss Kim,
Ma'am.
may I share and show my dog? Part of it was paper mache and the other part was rolled. We had rolled magazine pages.
You have to turn your video on, love.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying, may I show it?
Hold on.
Oh, look how nice.
Oh, you talking about what we made in class?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah, babe.
we made that and making something out of nothing. And that doll is made out of magazine paper rolls.
Okay.
I remember y'all were doing that.
Yeah, everybody made different dolls. Put it a little closer, Miss Jeannie, looks so beautiful.
It's very nice, Jean.
Look at
And
her baby.
she got a
That's a
spoon in her
baby.
hand. She got a baby. She cooking and she got beans.
Yeah,
Okay,
a woman's work is never done.
That's right.
that looks good.
Thank
So
you.
much. We did those a while back.
Yeah. But I just want you guys to know when you make pieces like that, your family members really like it, I think. So I'm gonna save this here and give it out, maybe Christmas, give one of pieces one at a time. I don't know.
Okay, give me 1 second, young people. Sorry.
Did they take a whole class?
Pretty much. And then we had displayed those in the art show. Here's one that I made.
Okay.
It's pretty. Very nice.
Mhm.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, that is nice. Very nice. And you painted it with acrylic paint?
Yes, we painted it with acrylics, and some of the stuff like this, her head wrap, I really just played off the color of the magazine. This is the actual pinks and purples on the magazine, and then I painted some of that down there. Added rhinestone, and the basket is the magazine
Mm-hmm.
paper rolls too. And so
And the arms are made out of magazines. There's no
magazine
wire or anything in it.
no, it's nothing in here, just magazine paper roll. You see how?
Okay.
able to
Yeah.
print?
Yeah.
And then I actually made one for the that we displayed at the Darnell Center. And from the floor, it stands about here to my waist. It's like a really big doll. So this is one,
Oh, look how nice.
Mhm.
and this is her face.
Mm.
This is her baby on the back, and he's got a fist up, black out, and she has like she's doing like botanical stuff, and then actually she has a basket where she's sewing and stuff, but the basket is somewhere over here. And then I made this is her basket right here that I have to put back on there.
Oh, okay.
And this is the clown I made, Willie Clown. These are his
That's
shoes.
cute.
On
Now I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
With those wrapped with newspaper, I know you said it was magazine,
Yes,
but how'd you
ma'am.
get it painted without, the color of the magazine seeping through?
Say
You
that
put
one more
everything
time.
black first. How'd you get the colors to take? You put
Actually,
white paint on top.
magazine papers are slick. They kind of slick.
Uh-huh.
So when you paint on them, it sits on top of the paper. You don't even need a lot of coats. It's very easy to paint magazine paper with acrylic.
Okay.
We painted it with acrylic. And this is the last one that I made. It's not my large one.
Okay. Warrior princess, huh?
Yeah. Even her sword is made out of cardboard.
Yeah, it's cute.
It is.
This is like her shield is like a piece of costume jewelry, was an earring.
Mm,
At one, so we use anything we can.
that's right.
Like a warrior type press, she's like from the ocean, and that's why she has these aqua colors stuff on.
Okay.
All right, so even though I'm glad that Miss Jean brought that up, because even though we created those dolls with magazine papers, now we are creating something that's similar, but with paper mache. So we're gonna go ahead and continue with this project to see what we get. And I just wanted to let you all know that we're gonna have like a icebreaker. Meaning, I don't want to call it an icebreaker, but it's really gonna be the time to take a break in between making all this stuff. And the paper mache, to give us a break between that. to give us a chance to have our pieces dry properly and everything. And so what I want you all to get, if you already don't have it, just over time, I want you to get some different shapes of maybe like you don't need a lot, because what we're gonna basically use is a lot of materials to create, but in between our paper mache projects, we're gonna create some hats and fascinators out of paper bowls, paper plates. You can use plastic bowls, plastic plates, and cardboard and stuff like that. So do know that you're gonna need all sorts of found objects to decorate them with, but for the assembly, we're gonna play with making some stuff for the assembly. I just made a paper hat bowl not too long ago. It's a little fascinator. I'm gonna see how it looks on my head, but actually it just kind of sits like this.
Mm.
And it had this stuff on it. I was really doing this for our Black History program. Somebody's mimicking somebody, so I'll just let y'all wait to see that. However, we're gonna make some hats out of paper bowls, plates, and everything, and that can be used as artwork for our upcoming art show. Don't forget to start taking photos of your finished art pieces so that you don't have too much to do as you get closer to the art show. And what I wanted to say was those paper hats that we're gonna make, they can actually be worn, or you can frame them in like shadow boxes and display them. They can be hung on the wall. There's so many different things you can do with them to make them a finished art piece and make them different. So anybody have any questions, any suggestions about the paper mache and what we're doing so far? And next week, I figure I'll probably be finished with all the layers that I need to have done to be able to be ready to paint. But I won't go on until everybody is ready. So that's why I'm asking you all to get your cardboard and paper plates, paper bowls, or plastic plates and bowls, so that if everybody's not ready to go on with the paper mache, a lot of that art will have to be done on your own and not in class. So I'm just here to give you some different tips and stuff about what could be done to help you along your process. But sometimes a lot of that stuff has to be done on your own time so you can really get into it. But we will continue the project until we finish. And if you need any assistance, please let me know. Anybody have any questions?
You said cardboard, paper plates.
Pretty much. I mean, of course, you're going to need anything that you feel like you need to design, like ribbons, feathers, rhinestones, buttons, cloth. I don't know. Anything.
Pins.
Yes.
Like pins, you know, your pins, you put on pretty pins.
You know, like yes. And one thing I wanted to say is that when you purchase certain things like lemons, oranges, that netting, if you get those type of bags with the netting, you can save that, because it can be the actual netting that usually is on hats, sometimes over your eye and that type of thing. So save those type of things, and anything that you see is cute and beautiful that would look unique on a hat. All right. Also, as pertains to fascinators, I guess I would say that the reason why the hat is called a fascinator is because when you look at it, you're so fascinated. What will make a hat fascinating? I guess it would be to be very unique and different. For example, so I made some fascinators in my clay class for a miniature head. And I just want to show you one of them that I thought was really fascinating. And if you imagine this actually being on a woman's head, I think people would be shocked. Okay, so this is the actual model here. A little bust. And I have this piece of Velcro on her head so that when I put the clay pieces there, they don't break and fall. However, this particular piece looks just like what it is, but it's really a hat. So let me sit it on her head. Let me let y'all check that out. Okay, this is a fascinator, but I'll let y'all see what it is.
A teacup. That's cute.
Yeah.
With a little spoon.
Yeah, and sugar
and
cube.
sugar lumps, and then I have a
Tea
tea bag going in here with the little paper.
Mm-hmm. And you even got it stained like there was tea in the cup.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So and a little, and actually that's why I try to show people that it really was a hat. That's why the hole is in it.
Okay.
All right.
Cute.
So I was thinking about what if I think I saw a fascinator like this, but it wasn't fully. What if, what if you made a hat that looked like a nest, a bird nest, and put a bird in it with some eggs? Think that's
Bird on your head? No, Kim.
That's what's so fascinating about it.
That's
bird-
right.
A bird on your head would be beautiful because a bird already flies in the sky. Bird,
Well, I'll put a chicken on my head.
no, put a rooster. Put a rooster.
A rooster, yeah.
Yeah. Miss Jean.
You guys know, Kim knows, I love roosters and chickens and all anything's a chicken. My whole kitchen has chickens all over.
So when we make the actual hats and fascinators, I want you all to be very creative. It doesn't have to be a traditional something what you would just generally wear as a hat. You might put as a memory commemoration, you might put the World Trade Towers on your head. I don't know. But anyway, I've made this, it's really gonna be like a brooch, it's so big. But I was saying this would be cute as a fascinator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a flower. Mhm.
Yeah. Then I made this one.
Oh, I like that. Kim, what is that material?
Clay.
Okay.
I made this in pottery. That's what I was saying to you. I made this in pottery. So you see the hole on this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one is.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
That's beautiful, Kim.
I like that.
And this is the last one. So this is like a big kind of like weird. This is the little cup that the head sits on. And it goes like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Woo woo.
It has rhinestones on it, but they're so little you barely can see.
That's pretty, Kim.
Thank you. All right. So thank you all for joining the acronym MSOON, which stands for making something out of nothing. We're gonna get back to our paper mache and our fascinators or our hats coming up soon. I just want y'all to know that I know y'all can make the hats because one time I did a class with Adult Day and everybody in Adult Day made some beautiful hats. I mean, some people at the show were asking where they for sale and stuff, but I actually wanted them to go back to Adult Day so they could take them home to see their families and everything. So anyway, I love you all. Stay safe, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good day.
Peace out.
Thank you. Peace out.